Failing to provide an identification to a law enforcement officer when you have been asked to do so. Is that a crime? It is a crime. Not only is it perfectly lawful, it's constitutionally protected activity. Did you guys take a note of the hold and defend the Constitution? I'm giving you a chance to give me your name. You are being detained until we can figure out what your name is. I understand Code 440 at place west of Central. Suspects in custody taking pictures of the Constitution is a man takes photos from public property. Police arrive not to stop a crime, but to test obedience. Just taking photographs. Yeah, what are you taking photographs of? Whatever I can see from public. I'm just gathering information about just investigative journalist gathering content. That's all there's in my hands. That's got nothing in my hands. All right. An investigative journalist stands on a public sidewalk with a camera. Why are you taking pictures of the plant? Why not? Why not, yeah. Raise a little bit of suspicion. It's not illegal though, right? It's not illegal, however. It is suspicious in nature, but you know what it is. You have a vehicle with you. I'm not answering any questions. Like I said, I explained to him I'm a journalist gathering content. For story, you have an ID with you and So he's already confirmed I'm not breaking any laws. He is not hiding, trespassing, or fleeing. Well, we're still talking to you. We need to identify who we're talking to. I can't hear you, I'm sorry. We're trying to identify who we're talking to. Just because there was a suspicious... It was called out that there was a suspicious person walking around. Taking photos of us when things are the way things are right now. We at least need to identify who we're speaking to, so we can make an assessment that you were right in the area. Who you are, who you were, and what you were doing. If you're taking photos, that's fine. Officers approach citing suspicious behavior. But we still need to find out who we're talking. Who I am is an investigative journalist gathering content for story. Okay, I need your name now. I'm taking photographs, that's perfect. Unless I'm being detained. Am I being detained? It's an investigation. So right now you are being detained, sorry. I am being detained. You are being detained until we can figure out who your name is. I'm giving you a chance to give me your name. We're conducting an investigation as to what you're doing. Therefore, I'm asking you for your name. What a reasonable, articulable suspicion. Do you have that a crime is afoot? You're in an area taking photographs of a power plant. No crime is identified. No statute is named a misdemeanor or a felony. What is that? I'm sorry. Is it a misdemeanor or a felony to take pictures right now? You're failing to identify who you are while being investigated by a law enforcement officer. That's the crime that you're committing at this point. Well, what would that be? Failing to provide an identification to a law enforcement officer when you have been asked to do so. Is that a crime? It is a crime. Well, to provide law enforcement with an identification or your name, so that when it's gonna ask upon to, do not do so. But you've already confirmed that I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not violating any laws. Are you failing to identify yourself at this point? There's no duty. I'm not refusing. Don't get me wrong there, but there's no duty to identify if I'm not suspected of a crime. Officers immediately acknowledge a critical fact. Taking photographs is not illegal. That admission should have ended the encounter. The First Amendment protects photography and recording in all public spaces where a person is lawfully present. We're telling you right now, we are completing an investigation as to what you're doing and what you're photographing. I've already told you that I'm an investigative journalist. Content for a story. Along with that, we need to identify. We're asking you that we need to identify who you are so we can make a notation that you were in the area. You're going to be in the area taking photographs, okay? Failing to provide law enforcement officer with a form of identification after you have been asked to do so is a crime. Instead of disengaging, officers pivot to suspicion, but suspicion is not a crime. The Supreme Court has never allowed police to detain citizens based on discomfort, fear, or what's going on in the world today, okay? So I'm not refusing. What will happen if I don't give you guys identification? Because I don't think it's any of your business who I am. You've already confirmed that I'm not committing a crime. What I'm doing is perfectly lawful. I'm standing on a public sidewalk. Not only is it just let me finish. Not only is it perfectly lawful, it's constitutionally protected activity. Did you guys take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, okay? I'm not asking you whether or not you are going to be taking photographs on the side of the road. That's not what we've already clarified it. However, what we're discussing now is the fact that you're failing to provide law enforcement with an actual identification so that we can make an assertion that we make contact. This is the First Amendment protected. You guys are detaining me unlawfully, and now you're forcing me to give up my identification. Which is unlawful. I'm gonna give you guys a chance not to do that. I'm not refusing to do it, but I'm gonna give you guys a chance not to unlawfully detain me. We need to know who we're speaking to. Question after question follows. This is not investigation, it's a fishing expedition. The Constitution does not allow officers to stop people simply to gather information or create a report. Are you going to give us your identification or not? Am I going to be arrested or not if I don't give it to you? It just depends. Why are you refusing to give it? Because it's none of your business. It's my personal information. I'm law enforcement officer. I have the right to find out who I am. What is y'all's names and badge numbers? Do you have a supervisor? I do. You want me to come over because I'll be more than glad. Please call your supervisor and we'll take it from there, okay? Now I make it clear I don't consent to be detained. I like to be free to go and go about my business. Are you recording as well? Yes, excellent, excellent. That's perfect. You guys both confirmed that you're recording. So I'm going to be doing everything's being recorded. I will be doing a public records request to obtain those videos. Right now you're telling me that's perfectly fine, but I have no way of proving unless you provide me some kind of verification. The state that you are. If you do, then that's fine. You're good to go. We'll go on our own way when the journalist refuses to provide ID. Officers falsely claim that failure to identify is a crime. This is legally incorrect. Refusing ID cannot be criminal. Unless a lawful detention already exists. Well, it's the loitering and prowling is what we were looking at. Because you're in an area, at a time that's not common for normal people to be in. Photograph like I expressed to Deputy Richardson. I do not consent to be detained. I would like to be free to go as soon as possible. As soon as we can find out who you are, and we can possibly identify who you are, you'll be more than welcome to go, all right. Sir, I'm going to advise you of your constitutional rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice. Before we ask you any questions, and to have him with you during any questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you before any question if you wish. You decide to answer questions without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time. Until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand these rights? Advise. Explain them to you. Under Terry v. Ohio, 1968. Police must articulate reasonable, specific facts that a crime is occurring. Here officers admit they do not know what crime is being investigated, exposing the detention as unlawful from the start. How are you, sir? Nice to meet you. What's your name, sir? My name is Jeff. I'm investigative journalist. I'm just taking photographs. They've already advised me that is not illegal. No, Jeff, I don't think you're a terrorist. I'm fine with it. That's all you was taking pictures, okay? Am I free to go outside, Jeff? I know it is. Am I free to go? What's that? Am I free to go? You are okay. Yeah, what's that? Well, we don't know who you are. Well, you don't want to give us your last name or anything like that. I would rather not if I'm not doing anything illegal. You wouldn't even give us your first name. What you said is Jeff. Maybe it's Jeffrey. I don't know, okay? But no, you're not doing anything illegal, okay? The journalist invokes the Fourth Amendment. No crime, no probable cause. No lawful detention, therefore no legal obligation to identify. Silence and refusal are not obstruction. Obstruction requires physical interference. What you said is Jeff me. If it's Jeffrey. I don't know, okay? But no, you're not doing anything illegal, okay? So I'm free to go, yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna head this way. If I could just go ahead, Jeff. Okay, thank you guys. Have a good day. You know that were you? Were you recording our conversation between the two of us? I am, yes, sir. Okay, well. You didn't tell me you were recording that conversation. Did you know, sir? Okay, that's illegal under the first statute. Do you really realize that? Actually, it is not. Security Communications Act is what it is. Not when it comes to public officials. No. I think you're wrong, buddy. Okay, but you need to tell me you're recording me. If I'm talking to you, say, I'm recording this conversation, and I'll be fine with that. Because you told me you're recording me, okay? Okay, am I free to go? You're free to go. Thanks for bringing it to you. Unable to justify the stop, officers escalate using intimidation. Miranda warnings are read despite no arrest and no crime. Courts routinely recognize this tactic as psychological pressure, not lawful procedure. Lawsuit of $25 million. Had officers arrested the journalist for refusing to identify, the department would have faced a $25 million federal civil rights lawsuit under 42 U.S.C. GAR 1983 for false arrest, unlawful detention, and retaliation against protected First Amendment activity. Courts consistently rule that detaining a citizen without reasonable suspicion, then inventing charges like failure to identify, constitutes constitutional abuse. Reading Miranda without a crime only strengthens liability, proving intimidation rather than investigation. The journalist walks away because he knew the law and refused to surrender rights he was never required to give. Suspicion failed, intimidation failed, the Constitution held.